Good morning to all my wonderful viewers out there, and welcome back to another top 5 video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing my top 5 favorite pieces that I wore in September of 2023. As mentioned in that intro, guys, we are going to be talking about my top 5 favorite pieces that I wore from my wardrobe in September 2023, because it is coming to the end of October, and as I always do, I do a monthly video where I talk about the top 5 favorite pieces that I wore in the previous calendar month. And as just mentioned, that means I've got to talk about September. In Australia, maybe more specifically Tasmania, September didn't have a lot of days where it got above 20 degrees. There was probably only like 2, maybe 3 days where it went above 20 degrees. The rest of the month was around mid 15 degrees, 14 degrees Celsius, around about that. So it did actually give me some leeway to wear some outwear, which you will see in this video. But as well, towards the end of the month, I went to Melbourne for the Listen Out Festival, which you can go watch the vlog video that I did kind of talking about that. But that means for a large portion of the month, I got to wear some nice, very large outwear pieces on myself. And then towards the end of the month, I was wearing, I guess, very summer-like clothing because I went to Melbourne where it was like over 20 degrees and very close to 30 degrees towards the end of September. So two very different climates that I had to, I guess, wear in September, or at least accompany my clothing to wear in September. Yeah, so it's a little bit different. So on top of that, in September, my surgery was closing up and healing up, but I still wanted to not wear anything super constrictive, and I was still, bandaging it up, ensuring that it wasn't bleeding too much, everything like that. So in the month of September, I will be wearing really loose fitting outwear, but how I style it in this video, because it's October obviously, I will be wearing more constrictive undergarments under that outwear, and that would be how I more traditionally wear that outwear. But I guess you've just got to put into consideration that I was wearing that outwear in September because it was like loose fitting and everything like that because of the surgery. So yeah, it's kind of hard to juggle it up. I'm styling it how I normally would style it in this video, but realistically for September, I wouldn't be wearing it like that because I wanted to wear very loose fitting clothing because of that whole circumstance. So there's that now. But moving forward, October onwards, it's fine. Like, I can wear constrictive clothing again. I say that wearing like a 3 extra large shirt right now. So yeah, it probably doesn't help my agenda there saying that. But yeah, in this video, I'll talk about those top 5 pieces for September. Like I say in all these videos, it's not in any hierarchy. So piece number 5 is not better or worse than piece number 1. It's purely just the top 5 from that wardrobe there. So let's get into it. Let's start by talking about piece number 5 that I wore in September. So I think we'll talk about the outerwear pieces first, and then we'll talk about the more lighter weight summer pieces towards the end, because that follows how it naturally worked in the month where I was in Tasmania wearing colder outerwear, well, outerwear for colder weather, and then towards the end of the month I was wearing more summery stuff because I was in Melbourne and it was quite warm there. So I think that's the best way to put it. So for piece number 5 today, I'm going to talk about the amazing, fantastic undercover fall winter 2020 trench coat, because there were days in September where it only got to a maximum of like between 10 degrees Celsius and, like I'm saying, 15 degrees Celsius, and those days I was waking up nice and early going to work, and it was it was quite cold. It was quite cold. So yeah, that trench coat, a perfect trench coat to put on. It has a cotton exterior, a quilted lining interior that is detachable as well. It features the fantastic final scenes from the 1954 Akira Kurosawa Throne of Blood movie, where the character is being shot full of arrows. To match, obviously, the whole theme of the season, I love this trench coat. And you guys know I love this trench coat. I talk about it all the time. It's one of my favorite pieces. One of my mates says it's his favorite piece in my wardrobe. It's just, yeah, it just reappears all the time. I love it. I think I'm going to be wearing it all the time moving forward. I constantly am hunting for fall winter 2020 pieces from Undercover's season. So if you guys see any of those pieces in like a size 4 or a size 5, send them my way. Even in a size 3, maybe not like the sweaters, but if you see like the outerwear in like a size 3, maybe send that one my way, because I'll have a look at the measurements and see if I can fit it. But yeah, definitely the sweaters and stuff in a size 3, I'm too large for that. The sweaters I'm gonna need at minimum a size 4, ideally a size 5, but the outerwear I can go smaller because it's obviously built a bit bigger. But yeah, I wore this all the time on those colder days in September. I love the piece. You guys know I love the piece. It's gonna make an appearance. Probably not a lot moving forward though, because when we get into summer, it's just gonna get stashed away. It's not gonna get worn at all. So yeah, there's that. But definitely wore it that month and had to mention it as piece number 5. Moving into piece number 4, even though I wanted to wear loose-fitting clothing for work, loose-fitting clothing for my surgery, I still wanted to add some formality to my outfits that I wore to work. And the way that I did that was a looser-fitting blazer that I wore the month before as well. The blazer that I'm going to be discussing is the Calvin Klein blazer that I picked up from an outlet store. I love this piece. It's simple. It's a very nice black blazer made in Canada, very lightweight materials, doesn't pinch me in any places. It's not very form-fitting. It is a little bit looser. I definitely could get it tailored in the width to be a little bit thinner because it's made for someone who's a bit wider than myself, but it works very well as I guess a more casual blazer than I guess a very formal blazer. But I still wear it in both circumstances, and I wore it a lot to work, as I mentioned at the start of the video, not in the way that I'm going to be styling it in this video, just over a black t-shirt at the time, because yeah, I wanted to add some formality to my work outfits, but also wanted it to be still a loose fitting piece for my surgery. And it was just ticking all the boxes for September, and I wore it a lot in that month. It's a very nice blazer. I had to give it a shout out as piece number 4. Well, they're really the 2 pieces that I wanted to highlight for the colder side of September. The rest of the pieces are going to be for when I went to Melbourne. Well, actually, no, I guess at piece number 3 today, it was kind of a mixture of both. It was what I wore to Melbourne, but it was also what I wore in the colder days at home, preparing to go to Melbourne. And the piece that I'm going to mention at piece number 3 is the Scaring the Hose t-shirt. I love it. I wear it all the time. It's a fantastic t-shirt. It's a 100% cotton, made in the USA t-shirt. It features this fantastic artwork on the front and back of the t-shirt. I love it a lot, and I wear it a lot in September and October because it's really oversized. I bought it in a 3XL because I said to myself, look, a 2 extra large is still going to be quite large on me, but I want what everyone else has, where everyone else has these super oversized band t-shirts. And I think to get that look, I'm going to need a 3XL. And you guys can tell me once you've seen me wearing it there. Do you agree with that? I personally think I needed that sizing to have that look. And I really love it and love wearing it in that way, that it is this like oversized band tee. I mean, obviously it doesn't have the same feeling as an oversized band tee because it's like not a t-shirt for an artist that was, you know, from the 90s, or like their music dropped a long time ago. Obviously, Scaring the Hose dropped in 2023, but I feel like, you know, moving forward many years from now, when I'm wearing it constantly, it'll eventually change and people will look at that t-shirt as a old band tee instead of just like the latest artist merch. At least that's how I think about this t-shirt. Like, I think if I keep wearing it for the next 5 years, we'll look back on it and say that's a cool like old band tee or old hip-hop tee. But currently, because it is still 2023 and the album's only like less than a year old, we feel very differently about it. But that is why I bought it in a 3 extra large, because I know in the future we will look back on it and think, you know what, that's a cool band tee. And that's why I guess I bought it, because I love the album, I love the 2 artists involved, and yeah, one day it'll be an old band tee or an old hip hop tee. But I wore it all the time in September because obviously I went and saw JPEG Mafia in Melbourne at Listen Out. But really, realistically, I just wear it all the time because it's a super comfortable t-shirt and I love it. But I had to give it a shout out as piece number 3 for September. Moving into piece number 2, this piece was a piece that I wore as an undergarment, really, and I wore it all the time in the, I guess, the warmer months of September. And then definitely wore it when I got to Melbourne though, and it is the Uniqlo tank top. It's the Airism one, the one that has a cotton blend essentially. I really enjoy this as an undergarment to put under outerwear that is quite tight on me, because if I wear the oversized Uniqlo t-shirts, I find that it gets quite constrictive with the sleeves inside of form-fitting outerwear. So I like to wear tank tops instead of those t-shirts, so I can have a bit of that like breathability around my underarms and just around my shoulders, I guess. And I've found that wearing tank tops with outerwear is just a really good way to, yeah, wear form-fitting outerwear in general. So I would definitely recommend it if you guys are looking into it. As I showed in the vlog video, I picked up a really awesome tank top from Neo Visions, where it looks like a t-shirt, but the sleeves are simply just cut off. It looks a lot more tasteful because that is in more of a t-shirt style than a traditional tank top style. I definitely like that look a lot more than having what looks to be like a more traditional tank top under my outerwear, but there was no concerns with that when I was wearing my Uniqlo one. It just is what it is. I wore it heaps under a lot of, like I was saying, form-fitting outerwear, and just a lot in Melbourne, so I definitely had to give it a shout out in today's video as piece number 2. For piece number 1, drum roll please. I mean, it's not a surprise, really, actually. It's a piece that I absolutely love. The piece that I'm going to put at number 1 is the Capital Palm Tree First denim jacket. So not the chore jacket that I have, but the shorter first jacket version, which I've fallen in love with. I absolutely love it. I wore it all the time in Melbourne. You can go see my Instagram post and it has me wearing it. It's a fantastic piece. It's a super lightweight, like 8-ounce denim, maybe 12, but it's probably 8. It's just really easy to wear. I really like its boxy fit. It's not super long, but it's nice and wide for me. It's a perfect first jacket. It's made me want to buy all of Capital's first jackets, because they do just a normal indigo one, and now recently they've done a black one as well, but they do so many just like different variations of their first jacket, and I love them. I love them because they're a really fair price as well. Like if you go to Levi's and buy their heritage first denim jackets, they run you about like 400 to 500 Australian dollars. But if I proxy a Capital first jacket straight from Japan, it's probably only going to cost me like low 300s, maybe high 300s, with like all the postage and taxes and everything like that. So I'm just like, it's a win-win for me to buy the Capital ones versus the Levi's ones. And I think moving forward, when I pick up more first denim jackets, I am just going to be going back to Capital because I love this palm tree one. And you can go check out all the other top 5 videos over the past couple years. And I still feel that way. Like, I still love it. I wear it all the time. It reappears all the time. I definitely have to give it a shout out. I wore it heaps in September, and I think this will be a piece that definitely reappears moving into summer. But yeah, some of the pieces definitely showcased in this video today will not make a reappearance in summer, because that undercover piece, I think this is probably, actually I did wear it a bit in October. October's probably going to be the last month that I'm going to be able to wear it realistically, but yeah. Awesome pieces nonetheless, and that is all of the pieces covered, guys. That is my top 5 favorite pieces that I wore in September of 2023. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on any of the pieces, if you like any of them, anything really at all to do about them, down in that comment section below. And that's really everything I have to say about the top 5 favorite pieces that I wore from my wardrobe in September of 2023. It was an interesting month. It's awesome to have weather that's below 15 degrees. I'm definitely more of a winter person or a cold weather person. I just love wearing heaps of outwear and heaps of accessories like scarves and things like that, and hats and whatnot. And I guess that's why I'm kind of like dreading moving forward, because 2023 summer, I'm already thinking it's just going to be horrid. It's just going to be hell on earth in Australia. It's going to be scorched earth down here. Maybe I'm just super cynical about that, but I definitely like my cold weather more than my warmer weather. It just works a lot better for me. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. I'd love to hear what pieces you wore in September. Obviously, we're all in different regions of the world, so we're all going to be wearing different things, but what were some mainstays in your wardrobe in September of 23? What were you rocking a lot? Let me know what you were wearing in September of 23 down in that comment section below. And of course, if you guys want me to do more videos like this where I'm covering my favorite pieces from my wardrobe, or talking about what I really like wearing, I can definitely do more content like this on the channel. You've just got to give me the 3 indicators that I always ask you for, which is a like on this video, a comment in that comment section down below, and if you haven't already, the best indicator that you can give me is a subscribe to the channel. And if you have already subscribed, tell a couple mates, and then hopefully we can hit the subscriber milestone before the end of October of 3,740. Worst case scenario, hopefully with your guys' continuous support, we'll be able to hit that milestone at least by the end of November. But that's everything I got to say about September 23, guys. Stay tuned for October 23. I'll get to covering that towards the end of November, I reckon, or maybe I should probably do it a little bit sooner. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, until the next streetwear talk video, until the next drop list video, until the next top 5 video in general, guys, I'll catch you later.